UFC Fight Night Perth is on our doorsteps, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys my full card predictions and breakdown for every single fight on this pretty underrated UFC card. A lot of people are trashing this card for being terrible. I really don't think it's too bad for a fight night. The main event's pretty good, and there are a few good prelims on there too. So yep, if you guys like the video, subscribe to my channel, and let's get into it. Kicking off this card, we got Brando Persic taking on Elijah Ellison, and Brando Persic. Persic, I don't know how to say his name, but this dude, I've never seen him fight, and maybe he's super legit, but his wins are against some of the worst fighters I've ever seen. Not only is it heavyweight regional MMA, which I can already promise you is terrible, his last 3 wins is against a guy with a 0-1 record, a guy with a 0-1 record, and a guy with a 15-15 record, dude. What are we doing out here? And he also lost in between those fights too. He's only on he's on a 2-fight win streak against 2 guys with 0-1 records. I'm not sure if the dude that he's fighting is good or if he's even any good or really anything about any of these guys, but I'm picking Elijah Ellison because Brando Persic is just not at all UFC proven. And I feel like he's only getting signed because he's on UFC. Or not. I think he's only getting signed because he comes out of City Kickboxing. That's what I meant to say. Listen, these City Kickboxing guys, they're getting too easy of roads, too easy of paths to the UFC. What are we doing now? Give me Elijah Ellison. Moving up the card, we got Jamie Mullarkey taking on Rolando Bedoya, and Jamie Mullarkey has been KO'd 6 times in his MMA career. That's a lot of times, dude. And if you think about how he's been KO'd, the Naimov KO was bad, the Roofy KO was damn bad. I don't know who else he got KO'd by, but 6 KOs in his career, that is absolutely brutal. And his last 4 fights, he's 1-3 in his last fight. He's 1-3 in his last 4, and his 3 losses are all by KO. And he is coming off of that bad Mauricio Roofy loss. But Rolando Bedoya, he's just not a UFC level guy. I'm pretty sure that he's only signed because he comes out of Shoot-A-Box, and Shoot-A-Box is like the thing, you know what I'm saying? But dude, Rolando Bedoya is 0-3 in the UFC, got signed off of the regional scene. He wasn't on the Ultimate Fighter. He wasn't on the Contender Series. They just picked him up for a short notice fight. He lost to Chaos Williams. He lost to Sung Kenan. He lost to another guy. I don't know the other guy, but he's 0-3 in the UFC, and he hasn't really shown anything of danger so far in the UFC. He hasn't shown like, oh, you need to watch out for this. You need to watch out for that. He's kind of just like pretty all right everywhere, but not even that good. He's just like below average everywhere, and he just gets beat by these guys, and I think he's going to get beat by Jamie Mullarkey. Jamie Mullarkey, he's been KO'd a lot, but the dude is tough. He is really tough. He just has fought some pretty good competition. I mean, this is a huge step down from Mauricio Roofy. I cannot see a world where Mullarkey does not get this one done. I'm picking him by 30-27 decision. Moving up the card, we got Colby Thicknesse taking on Josias Musasa, and this is honestly one of my most hyped up fights for this card. This is my co-main event right here. This is my co-main event right here. I'm very, very excited for this fight. Colby Thicknesse came off of a pretty good performance, I would say, against Alexandre Topuria, assuming that Alexandre Topuria is a very high-level guy. They're hyping him up a lot for being Ilia Topuria's brother, and he does train with him. He comes out of that gym. You already know what it is. But Thicknesse trains with Volk, and Thicknesse's been getting some really, really good training in with Volk. Volk was in his corner for his fight with Alexandre Topuria, and that fight was very, very close. I know that Topuria won, and he kind of dominated him in the first. You know, Topuria, he had a very, very good I don't know if it was a very, very good first round or a very, very good third round, but one of those rounds that he had against Thicknesse was very good. He, suplexed him and, hurt him in a moment and stuff, but dude, Thicknesse definitely held his own. He outstruck Topuria on the feet in the second round. He looked really, really good in that second round against Topuria, and I think that he's going to dominate Josias Musasa. Josias Musasa, or Josiah Musasa. He's 0-1 in the UFC. He had a good amount of hype coming in from the regional scene simply because he was an undefeated guy and he's shredded, I guess. But dude, he got head kick KO'd by Carlos Vera. And Carlos Vera is one of the worst fighters I've ever seen in my entire life, dude. He looked so bad. He looked so bad on Tough. And he looked so bad against Rinya Nakamura. But he won, dude. He got a head kick KO against Musasa. Or maybe he subbed him on the ground, but then he completely flattened him with a head kick, and then he just jumped on a submission on the ground. But very impressive stuff from Carlos Vera, and very disappointing stuff from Husayas Masasa. I don't think he's going to win, dude. I'm sorry. I cannot pick him to win after that kind of debut. And Thicknessy, dude, he has potential, I swear to you. So I'm taking Colby Thicknessy by 30-27 decision. He might even get the sub, dude, late in round 3. You never know. I think that Thicknessy's legit. I take him to beat Musasa. Moving up the card, we got Andre Petroski taking on, I'm forgetting his name for a second. Why am I doing that? Cam Rouston. All right, he's going to be taking on Cam Rouston. Cam Rouston, he looked very, very good on the Contender Series. And before that, he did lose to Terez Finney. But it was by, like, close, boring, awful decision. Like, he did not get beat up by Terez Finney too badly, which is like, who does, you know? But he did not. He held his own against Finney. He did a lot better than Robert Valentine did when he was in the UFC against Terez Finney. So that's for sure. But he's going to be taking on Andre Petroski. And Andre Petroski, he's just one of those guys where it's like, he doesn't really have any dangerous finishing ability like that. He just kind of is all right everywhere and sometimes wins and sometimes doesn't. But his fight with Edmund Shabazian was a terrible performance by Petroski. I know that not much happened and the fight was slow, but in round 1 he got dropped, and in the 3rd round he either got severely hurt with the body kick or he like snapped his arm off the body kick. When he blocked that body kick from Shabazian and he like was like grabbing at his arm after, and then he just fell to the ground. So I'm pretty sure that in that 3rd round he did break his arm because of the body kick, and he got KO'd from a hip. He got KO'd from his head, his equilibrium getting rattled by shooting a takedown and smacking his head on Jacob Malkoun's hip. I'm not taking you to win a fight if you do that, dude. That's my thought process behind it. If you're getting KO'd by someone's hip, if you're getting KO'd by accident, there's a problem here. There's an absolute problem here. I'm taking Cam Rouston. Cam Rouston, dude. I'm taking him to win, dude. What do you want me to tell you? I'm taking him to win, right? You can sue me. Moving up the card, we got Rodolfo Bellato taking on Navajo Sterling. And let me tell you about Rodolfo, man. Rodolfo Bellato, man. He's getting chinned. All right, Rodolfo Bellato is getting chinned. He's not getting yeah, he is actually. I think he is getting chinned. Navajo Sterling, dude, in his last fight with Ivan Ursulon, came so close. You know what? He flatlined Ivan Ursulon face down out cold for like face down out cold. But the ref just did not stop it. The ref just watched it happen. And Navajo Sterling, he was so unbelievably gassed, right? At the end of the 3rd round, he just, somehow Ivan Ursulon survived, and Navajo Sterling only got like a 10-8, I think, but he came so close to finishing Ivan Ursulon in the 3rd round. He also came very close to finishing Tuco Tokos in the 3rd round, and I think that Rodolfo Bellato is a worse fighter than Ivan Ursulon and maybe even Tuco Tokos, man. Okay, not Tuco Tokos. Tuco Tokos is still very bad. But I will tell you this right now. Rodolfo Bellato, man, he was losing to Paul Craig on the feet before he got finished. Or before he, like, faked being knocked out in the worst, most hilarious way possible, where he gets hit in the face with an up kick, and he looks up at the ref and goes, oh. Goes out cold, all right? Navajo's chinning this Brazilian guy. What more can I say? If you need to fluke your way out of a Paul Craig win, you're getting finished by Navajo Sterling. Simple as. Moving up the card, we got Tom Nolan taking on Charlie Campbell. And this fight is one of the best fights on this whole card. These two prospects are extremely good. Like Tom Nolan, he looked pretty good against Vyacheslav Borshev. And in his fight with Alex Reyes, he did not look very good. But Tom Nolan is an extremely good prospect, and he's won a bunch of fights in the UFC. And you look at Charlie Campbell, he did get slept on the Contender Series by Chris Duncan. But I'm telling you right now, Charlie Campbell wins that fight 9 out of 10 times. He got fluke KO'd by Duncan so badly, and he was dominating Duncan. He hurt Duncan, was walking him down, and when Duncan was like about to get finished, he just like 1-2 down the pipe, flattens Charlie Campbell. And it's like, dude, that's bad, dude. Like just a regular 1-2 down the pipe, and it just flattens Charlie Campbell. I'm like, damn, dude. It is kind of scary because, like, dude, Tom Nolan's a long, rangy striker. It's like he might have that move to, like, put you out, especially if you're kind of chinny like that. But, dude, Charlie Campbell's skill is insane. Like, he looked so good against Trevor Peek, and he looked so dominant against Alex Reyes. I know that Alex Reyes is not good, but Tom Nolan just took Alex Reyes to a decision, and Charlie Campbell knocked out Alex Reyes in 1 round. So, that should tell you enough on who's going to win this fight, honestly. But I think that Charlie Campbell's going to handle Tom Nolan. Like, I think that Charlie Campbell's extremely good. His wrestling's great. His boxing's great. His kicks are great. His chin is a little suspect, but besides that, I don't think he's going to get caught by Tom Nolan here. I'm going to take Charlie Campbell by a 30-27 decision. Moving up the card, we got Justin Tafa taking on Louis Sutherland, and I truly believe that they just picked this guy off of the regional scene so Justin Tafa could get a win, because this guy Louis Sutherland is making his debut in the UFC, and yes, he's on a 4-fight winning streak, but before that, he lost one. On the regional scene! On the regional scene! In heavyweight MMA. We're doing this. And then we're letting him into the UFC? I don't think so, man. I do not think so, man. Listen, I have a theory that Louis Sutherland is going to be absolutely terrible. And they picked a guy so that Tafa could beat. Maybe I'm wrong and Tafa gets smoked as usual. But I think that they picked a guy off of the regional scene who had a few wins in a row, but they knew that Tafa could knock him out in Australia. And I think that that's what they're doing here. I truly believe it, man. Justin Tafa, I get that he loses a lot. He's 7-5, dude. But he's winning, man. He's winning the fight, and he's winning by knockout. All right, that's the only thing I could say. Tafa by KO, man. Tafa by KO. Big bloody KO over this industry plant that the UFC just let in so then Tafa could chin in Australia. Moving up the card, we got another example of the UFC doing Neil Magny extremely dirty. In Jake Matthews versus Neil Magny, this is another one. This is a amazing example of giving Neil Magny an unwinnable matchup, dude. They did it to him against so many people, man. Too many to count, bruh. I'm definitely not a casual who can't think of any besides Protes. Definitely not. There's more, dude. Neil Magny's always getting smoked. For some reason, I can't think of it right now, but Magny's always getting smoked. Always getting smoked, man. Got smoked by Protes. Got smoked by Michael Morales. Okay, maybe it's not as often as I think, but dude, I feel like Magny is going to just get absolutely destroyed by Jake Matthews. Like, Jake Matthews looked great in his last fight. I've never seen Jake Matthews look better. And he's been in the UFC for a very long time. And he's had a few, like, rocky performances with Jake Matthews. Like, there's been a few kind of, like, bad ones from him. But he's looked great in his last few fights, man. I think he's going to absolutely carry his momentum and probably chin Neil Magny in round 1. I know that there are a few times where Jake Matthews has looked very, very boring and very, very bad in his career. And every once in a while, after he gets a few good wins under his belt, we know how Jake Matthews does it. He loses in horrific fashion. But listen, I don't know. I don't think Magny's going to beat him. I do not see Magny beating him. Like, dude, I get Mike Malott lost to him and broke against Magny. I do not see that happening with whatever his name is that Magny's fighting. Why am I forgetting Jake Matthews? Like, I do not see that happening to Jake Matthews, dude. Like, that's all I can even tell you. That's all I can tell you. I don't really got much of an explanation for this fight. This is awful matchmaking, Dana. What are we doing here? Why are you trying to kill Neil Magny? He's like 40. He's like an absolute vet, dude. Give him another old guy like he did in his last fight. Moving on to the featured bout, we got Roman Tavares taking on Jack Jenkins. This card is extremely weak now that I think about it. Extremely weak fight night. I mean, we got Jimmy Crute in the co-main event against Ivan Erslan after this, and we got Jack Jenkins and Roman Tavares in the featured fight. Even with Junior Tafa pulling out, like we would have had Junior Tafa in the co-main event. That's crazy. How is a Tafa, bro, in a co-main event still? It's not even in the Apex, dude. It's just a co-main event. It's unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable stuff, man, from the UFC. Step it up, Dana, dude. Dana needs to step it up, man. I tell you, this year of UFC has been disgusting, but what was I talking about? Yeah, Roman Tavares is taking on Jack Jenkins. This fight is actually a very good fight. The odds do not show it as much, but I think that Roman Tavares is going to have himself a pretty good showing. And Jack Jenkins, man, extremely overrated in my opinion. Extremely overrated. Like, people give him like a lot of credit because he's like really likable guy. He's got the mullet, the mustache. He's Australian, bro. But like, I get that. And I get that he has crisp boxing and fast hands, but dude, Jack Jenkins is so one-dimensional, and like his defense is not that good. His cardio is not that good. He's really heavy on his lead leg. He's extremely boxing heavy, super one-dimensional in my opinion. I feel like if you're able to get takedowns on Jack Jenkins, his game kind of shuts down a little bit, and I think that Ramon Tavares is going to be able to get a lot of takedowns on Jack, but I don't think Ramon Tavares is going to beat him, man. I think that Jack Jenkins is going to be able to outstrike him on the feet fairly easily. Ramon Tavares did not look very good on the feet against Siri City, and he hasn't really shown much of a grappling game. So it's like, how can I bank on him winning with his wrestling if I've never seen him really wrestle that much? Like, this is probably going to be a striking fight, and I think if it stays on the feet, dude, Jack Jenkins is going to mess him up. Dude, Jack Jenkins is a great striker when it's pure striking. Like, he's seriously an amazing striker. Like, when the fight is going Jack Jenkins' way, and it's where Jack Jenkins wants it, he makes it look extremely easy out there. And I think he's going to do a similar thing to Ramon Tavares. I think he's going to piece him up, dude. He's going to absolutely piece him up. Maybe Ramon Tavares gets around, but I'm not sure. I do think it does go to a decision, though. Jack Jenkins' power is not extreme, but yeah, I'm going to take Jack Jenkins by a fairly dominant decision. To the co-main event. I can't even believe I'm saying that. But we got Jimmy Crute versus Ivan Arslan. Wow. Ivan Arslan is coming off of a bad fight. Dude, bad showing against Navajo Sterling where he got almost TKO'd. He literally got flatlined. He went like this. And the ref just stayed there. Like, he just didn't step in. Ref just did not want to step in. You know what I'm saying? Ref didn't really feel like it. All right, he thought he was a fan out there for a second. But Ivan Arslan took a bunch of damage against Navajo Sterling. And then before that, he fought Ion Cutelaba, and he clearly lost to Ion Cutelaba. And I don't think that Ivan Arslan has got a win in the UFC yet. I'm pretty sure he's 0-2. And if you're 0-2 in the UFC in a co-main event of a crowded fight night, that is unbelievable. But he is fighting Jimmy Crute, and although Jimmy Crute cannot really seem to get a win either, Jimmy Crute, he's kind of a name, I guess. He's like kind of popular. I don't know. Jimmy Crute had hype at first, but then he lost a lot. He got beat by Menafield bad. Then he also went to a draw with Menafield. He went to a draw with Rodolfo Bellato. I believe his draw with Rodolfo Bellato was his last fight. And if that is the case, that is Rodolfo Bellato sucks in my opinion. But I still think he beats Ivan Arslan. Like, Ivan Arslan has looked so trash in his 2 UFC fights. Like, he showed nothing against Navajo Sterling. He showed almost nothing against Cutelaba. It was just a couple, battering rams just throwing overhands at each other. It was not that impressive to watch. And besides that, it's like he hasn't really done anything else in the UFC. He's already had a couple chances to prove himself. He hasn't really proved anything. And unless Navajo Sterling goes on to be some sort of champion, I don't really think that's a good look either, dude. So I think you got to go with Jimmy Crute here, man. And Ivan Arslan has not really been tested on the ground yet, and Jimmy Crute is really good on the ground. I know that on the feet, Crute is absolutely atrocious, but his ground game is pretty decent, and he's pretty elite on the ground, especially for light heavyweights. So I'm going to take Jimmy Crute by probably a submission. I think he probably gets the submission on Ivan Arslan. Ivan Arslan, man, he's just, I don't know. He just really hasn't proved anything in the UFC yet. So I think you got to go with Jimmy Crute here. And I'm going to take him by second round. Moving on to the main event. This is the reason this whole card exists right now. There's almost no good fights outside of it. But Carlos Ulberg versus Dominick Reyes. This fight is absolutely amazing. I'm so excited for this fight. No matter who I pick right now, and no matter how the fight goes, just know I'm going to be heavily rooting for Dominick Reyes. Dude, Dominick Reyes deserves a victory, dude. Not just a victory. Dominick Reyes deserves a title, dude. He deserves the title, man. He beat John Jones. He went out there. He got it done. But then after that, he didn't get his hand raised. And then after that, he just took some gnarly damage, dude, and lost to some bad UFC fights. Lost some real bad fights. Real gnarly finishes from his opponents on him. Jan Blachowicz finished him bad. Yuri Prohaska finished him bad. Ryan Spann finished him bad. Ryan Spann! How are you getting KO'd by Ryan Spann? I am picking Ulberg. I am picking Ulberg because it's how do you even get beat by Ryan Spann for real? That's so bad. But he did get a KO over Krylov, And he did get a KO over Anthony Smith, kinda. I'll say kinda. And he did get a KO over Dustin Jacoby. And he did get a KO over Chris Weidman. But dude, Dominick Reyes, dude, it's just like, he's so one-dimensional, I feel like. He's very, very one-dimensional. If he doesn't get that pullback counter, that 2-cross, dude, down the pipe, his game is not much more after that, dude. And it's very easy to exploit Dominick Reyes' game. And he's pretty one-dimensional on the feet. Like, I know that he had a dream matchup with John Jones because John Jones' boxing sucks and you can just get in his face and pressure him. But it's like, he's not going to be able to just get in Ulberg's face. Ulberg will chin him, dude. Like, people are hating on Ulberg for being boring. And yes, dude, he has had some boring fights. Mainly just the Jan Blachowicz fight. I can't even think of one other boring fight that Ulberg's had, but he had a pretty boring fight with Jan Blachowicz, and he's like super, super forgettable for some reason. So I could see why everyone is picking Dominick Reyes, and everyone wants to see Reyes win, including myself. But dude, Ulberg, man, he looked good against Blachowicz, but Blachowicz looked good as well. That was a pretty high-level fight, man. That was a pretty high-level fight, and Ulberg did get the nod, just barely, just based off a little more tappy-tappy leg kicks. It was not a great fight. But besides that, it's like he chinned Menafield. Man, I might actually be picking Reyes, dude. I do not have that many reasons to be picking Ulberg. It's not as much as I'm picking Ulberg. It's more than I'm picking against Reyes. Like, Reyes, dude, he does have some crazy momentum right now. But, dude, getting KO'd with a jab by Ryan Spann. It's like, I just feel like Ulberg's going to put him out cold, dude. I don't know, man. This is a very, very hard fight for me. But I'm sticking with Ulberg by flatline. I'm sticking with No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm picking Reyes by flatline. Final prediction, I'm picking Reyes by flatline KO. Okay. I'm picking Dominick Reyes by pullback counter, flatline KO, as Carlos Ulberg is looking to find that lead hook. I can see it happening, man. This fight, these some extremely high-level light heavyweight guys. And I do think that Ulberg's going to chop low. You know, Ulberg loves to chop low. And Reyes is pretty one-dimensional. But, dude, Ulberg, man, I don't really think he has much on the feet for Reyes to fear. The only thing that I fear is that Reyes is extremely chinny, so Reyes might get KO'd. But Ulberg does not really have that much for Dominick Reyes on the feet. Dominick Reyes is a great striker. And I don't think that Ulberg's going to take this one to the ground. And if he does, I do not think he'll do that much with it. If anything, I could definitely see Reyes maybe even taking him down. But, yeah, that's the video. I'm going to be picking Carlos Ulberg. No, I'm not. I'm actually going to be picking Dominick Reyes. I cannot believe I'm fumbling and bumbling over all my words here. I cannot come to a final prediction. I made my prediction while I was recording this clip here. I told myself I was going with Ulberg. I switched back. I went with Reyes. I'm switching back and forth. But my final pick, I'm going with Dominick Reyes by a flatline KO. Or not a flatline KO, but I think he's going to pull back, bang, catch him over the top. It's probably going to be a TKO victory for Dominick Reyes. That's what I'm going with. That's my final pick. I'm not changing it, all right? I know I've been going back and forth, but I'm not changing it. If you guys like the video, subscribe to my channel, and who's with me?